notice, like, no matter what, I'll never edit my videos because I don't want to have to go back and watch myself talking to you. Like, I don't like the sound of my voice on when I'm recorded, and I don't like looking at myself recorded.
On recordings.
So I just don't edit them. So when we're talking about multiplying fractions, I like this sheet because it's got all the rules for you right in the beginning. But let's talk about them first before we get started. First thing it says is write all mixed numbers as improper fractions. I told you guys we're going to use improper fractions more than anything from now on, right? Improper fractions are the way to go as you get higher and higher in math. Yes, Leah?
These are the notes, right?
Yes, these are the notes, and they are in your Google Classroom. So it says write all mixed numbers as improper fractions. Improper fractions are the way to go in higher maths, right? The more math we do, the more we're going to use improper fractions. We don't care about mixed numbers anymore. Anytime you see a mixed number, if you want it to be useful, turn it into an improper fraction. Then it says simplify up and down all along the diagonals if possible. I'll show you that what that means as we get along into the problems, but basically wherever you can simplify, you want to simplify, right? It keeps your numbers a little smaller. Here's the thing though, if you don't simplify till the end, that's okay too. Multiply the numerators to get the new numerator and multiply the denominators to get the new denominator, and then simplify again if you need to. So what does that look like? Let's look at problem number 1. Problem number 1 looks like a whole number being multiplied to a fraction, right? But every whole number is a fraction. What I mean by that is we can write any whole number over 1, right? And then it's a fraction. When we're multiplying, there's nothing I can simplify in here right now. What do we know? If we have negative times a negative, we get a positive, right? We know if we have a positive times a positive, we get a positive, right? I'll see some heads, yes and no, if you know that. If I have a positive times a negative, I get a negative. And if I have a negative times a positive, I get a negative, right? So if they're both negative, we get a positive answer. If they're both positive, we get a positive answer. But if either one of them is negative, like if I have a positive and a negative, or then I have a negative times a positive, I always get a negative answer. Does that make sense? So we want to keep an eye on that. So let's look at number 1. Am I going to have a positive answer or a negative answer? I see Caitlin's in there with an answer. Anybody else? Anybody else have an answer? James, do you have an answer? Once you go off camera, I'm going to call on you. Adele, do you have an answer? Our negatives have it, right? There's only one. We have a negative times a positive. So we know whatever we get, we're going to have a negative answer, right? And then I just get to go 2 times 7. Well, 2 times 7 is 14. And 1 times 9 is 9. Now it says if I need to, I simplify, but we can't simplify 14 and 9, right? They don't share any common factors, right? Nothing that goes into 9 also goes into 14. And so we are done with that part. And that's our final answer, right? If we look at number 2, first we have to change it into an improper fraction because we have this whole number. So we would go 1 times 7 is 7 plus 1 is 8. So we would have 8. That's an ugly 8. I'm going to redo it. I don't like my numbers ugly. So we have 8 over 7 times 1 over 10. Now, I could simplify that 8 and 10 right now if I wanted to. I could cross simplify if I want because they're both divisible by 2. But I think it's just as easy just to multiply them across. 8 times 1 is 8. 7 times 10 is 70. And now I'm going to simplify.
Imagine having a pizza slice like that.
Yeah.
It's
Could you
70.
imagine 70 slices of pizza divided by
Yikes.
70? Now, I know both of these are even numbers, so I could divide 8 by 2 and get 4, and I could divide 70 by 2 and get 35, and I have 4/35 is my simplified answer. Now, I know that I was going to get a positive on that one because both pieces were positive. Number 3, am I going to have a positive or a negative answer? Before we even move on, let's just look at.
You're going too fast. Wait, I need that
Oh, I'm sorry. I could scroll up. There you go.
You're gonna have a positio.
Is it positive? I heard someone say it. I couldn't see who was talking.
Positive.
So we're going to have a positive because we have a negative times a negative, and we know negative times a negative is a positive. But before we even get started, we have to turn everything into improper fractions, right? So we're going to start by multiplying -1 times 3. We get 3 plus 2, we would get 5/3. We'll make it a -5/3. Then we're going to go times. We're going to go 1 times 3 is 3 plus 2. Well, again, 5/3, right? It's the same problem. So -5/3. And now we're just going to multiply across. But we know that negative times a negative is going to give us a positive. So we're just going to go 5 times 5 is 25. And 3 times 3 is 9. This, I can tell you right now, isn't reducible. So we're just going to leave it like that. Next, I'm going to change colors just because I'm tired of looking at the purple. Yes, Leia?
When there's a whole number, do you have to turn that into an improper fraction, or can you just multiply the whole numbers?
No, you have to, because of the way we're doing things now, we need things in the improper fraction form. So you want to multiply, you want to turn them into improper fractions first. So when we look at number 4, 1, we know they're both positive, so we're going to get a positive. Notice that we don't have the x anymore for multiplication. We just have a dot right there. Do you see that? You're not going to be seeing the x as much anymore for multiplication. Now that you're getting older, x means other things when we move into algebra, so we stop using it for multiplication. I wish they never taught it. Right? I wish they always gave us the dot for multiplication because then we wouldn't have to change it on you down the road. But this dot right here that you see between them, it means multiply. All right? It means the same thing. So we're going to have to go ahead and we're going to have to do our improper fractions. So if 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5, so we get 5/2 times, that's what the dot means. And then we go 1 times 2 is 2, plus 1 is 3. So we have 3 halves. And now we can just go ahead and multiply across. 5 times 3 is 15. And 2 times 2 is 4. Can't simplify that because the only thing that goes into 4 is 2 and 4, right? And the only thing that goes into 15 is 3 and 5, and none of those are common. So it is a simplified.
And 15.
Huh? Well,
Yeah.
and 15, yes. But 15 definitely doesn't go into 4.
If one number is odd and the other is even, how does it go into it?
So I'm not going to go up too high so that you can still see the ones we just did. But we'll move on to the next one. So number 5, is it going to be positive or negative? The problem with the using the x, Leia, is that we use it as a variable, as a substitute for numbers when we get into algebra, which is why we're moving away from it now, so you guys stop getting used to it. So I'm seeing Daniel's got an answer in there, whether or not it's going to be positive or negative. Daniel's in there for the win too, because he's right. It's a positive times a negative, so we know we're going to have a negative answer. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to change this into a improper fraction. 3 times 7 is 21. 21 plus 1 is 22. So we're going to have negative 22 over 7 times 3/4. Now we just have to multiply. We've got our negative. We know it's going to be negative. 22 times 3. Luckily, that's an easy one. It's 66. Over 7 times 4. Well, that's 28. And look at this. I have an even number over an even number. Zaya, can you be mic off unless you're talking to us?
Sorry.
Thanks. So I know I have an even number over an even number, which means that I know each one of those is divisible by 2. So we can simplify this at least a little, right? That's going to be 66 divided by 2 is 33. And 28 divided by 2 is 14. And that's as much as we're going to be able to simplify it. So that would be our final answer, as long as we don't forget that that's negative. Number 6, positive or negative?
Positive.
Positive, yeah, we have a negative times a negative. Remember that this is the same as 2 over 1. So we're going to, oops, I wrote 2. I said 1 and I wrote 2. So we're going to have negative 2 over 1 times, I'm writing it as a dot instead of an x. Negative 1 times 4 is negative 4 plus 3. 4 plus 3 is 7, so we're going to have negative 7 over 4. I can't write today. My writing's so sloppy today. So we know it's going to be positive. So 7 times 2 is just 14. 4 times 1 is just 4. Oh, we can definitely simplify that, right? Because everything's divisible by 2. 14 divided by 2 is 7. And 4 divided by 2 is 2. So we've simplified that problem. Let's see what else we've got on here. These all look like they're kind of the same. Hold on, I'm going to go right back up. I just wanted to see if, do you guys think we've done enough problems? Have you seen enough problems to be able to do a worksheet on multiplying fractions? Or do you want to do more problems?
I only want to do the positive one. I don't understand the negative.
What do you mean you don't understand the negative?
The negatives are just like the positive, but just the negative.
If you have 2 negatives, they're positive. And if you have 2
Yeah.
positive, look at the notes right here. If you have negative times a negative equals positive. Positive times positive, right? Negative times a negative equals a positive. Positive times a positive equals a positive. The only time they're negative is if one is positive and the other one is negative. Right?
Okay.
So all you have to do is so you could tell just by looking at the problems, right? Here on number 7, they're both positive, so we're going to have a positive answer. On number 8, only one of them's negative, so we're going to have a negative answer. Now I'm going to scroll down to the other sheet. We're not going to do all the problems. We're just going to determine if they're positive or negative. For number 9, negative answer. right? Because only one of them is negative. Number 10, negative answer, because only one is negative. 11, there's no negative, so they're both positive. 12, they're both negative, so it's going to be a positive answer, right? So if one of them's negative, the whole answer is negative. But if they're both negative, it's positive. I know it's confusing when you're learning negative times negative. Just remember, the only time it's going to be a negative answer is if one is negative and the other one's positive. Okay? Those will always be negative. Everything else is going to be positive. Do you guys need me to do more problems?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes? All right. We'll do 2 more problems and then we will skip this part. And we'll skip this part. You won't have to do your notes. Okay? But we'll do these 2 problems right here. The first thing we know, they're both positive. So we're going to have a positive answer. We're going to go 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9 over 4. Times 2 times 3 is 6, plus 2 is 8. 8 over 3. What's 9 times 8? Anybody know that one? Yes, Daniel. 72. You are correct, sir. Over 12. Now, I know that each of these are divisible by 2. How do I know that? Because they each end in 2, right? They're even numbers. So let's look at this. 72 divided by 2, that would be, is that 36? 12 divided by 2, well, that's 6. Well, let's look at that. Can we simplify that anymore? What's 36 divided by 6? This whole thing just becomes 6, right? If I divide 36 by 6, I just get 6. And if I divide 6 by 6, I get 1. So the answer is just 6 when we simplify it. Does that make some sense? So it would be 6 over 1, which is just 6. So let's put a box around it because a box tells us that we know we're done. Number 8, we have a negative times a positive. So we know our answer is going to be negative, right? The rest of it is just multiplication. So we're going to go negative 1/2 times 1 times 5 is 5 plus 4 is 9 over 5. And so I'm going to have negative 1 times 9 is 9. 2 times 5 is 10. And we don't even have to reduce that fraction, right? Because we can't reduce 9/10. And they're all going to work like that, okay? And that's all you have to do today is you have to do one worksheet on multiplying fractions, which is the easiest part of fractions. The hardest part of this is just writing them as improper fractions, right? Everything else is just multiplying. Or maybe simplifying.
Just put it in. No?
Well, this is your notes. So if you did your notes, then you can just go ahead and submit them right now. If you didn't do them, they're posted in Google Classroom. So, well, they will be in like 2 minutes. They'll be posted in Google Classroom. I have to save them and post them first. Your worksheet is posted in Google Classroom, but notice you also have a Delta Math, right? Let me show you your Google Classroom. Notice that you have a worksheet and then you have an assignment that says multiplying fractions and you have your notes. This is your notes. This is your worksheet. You could see it. 10 problems, of which we didn't go over the word problems, right? So we won't do the word problems on the worksheet. I'll tell you what, though, if you do the word problems, I'll give you extra credit. Fair enough? I'll say you don't have to do them, but if you do them, I'll give you extra credit. So that is your worksheet. But then you also, I closed the Google Classroom. I didn't mean to do that. You'll also notice that you have another assignment in there. You have 2, right? The other one is a Delta Math assignment. I'm not going to be able to see it because I'm not you. So when you click on it, it'll take you right to that assignment, right? And you'll be able to do it. But for me, it looks different than it does for you. But you'll see. Multiplying fractions, that just has your names. But I can't show you the assignment from mine, but it'll take you right to the assignment. So you have the worksheet and you have the Delta Math, right? Yes, Eliza.
You didn't make a copy of the worksheet, so I was just wondering, do you want us to make a copy?
I didn't have it set to make a copy.
No, it's asking me to make a copy, that's why. I was just wondering.
Dang it, man. I hate it when I do that. Let me edit that. See if I can edit that for you. I'm just going to re-upload it and have you guys able to make a copy. Yeah, it was definitely a mistake. I make those all the dang time. Multiplying integers. I have so many classes that there's so many assignments to go through. Worksheet, multiplying fractions. Student. Oh, it's not letting me do it at all. Why? Dang. No, we don't want that. Yeah, you're going to have to make your own copy. Sorry about that. I don't know why it did that when I first made it, but yeah, just make a copy. You guys all know how to make a copy? Okay.
For which one?
For your worksheet, your multiplying fractions worksheet.
Yeah, I know how to make a copy.
Yeah, just make a copy of it and do it on there. I appreciate that. You guys are all pretty tech savvy. You guys are kind of rock stars about all this anyways.
Yeah, I'm Elon Musk's hacker.
So that is it. That is your only lesson for this week. Do you have to come on Thursday? Yes. You have to check in. You have to do your attendance. I will keep the meet open the whole time for anyone who wants help with anything. Okay. So I will be here Thursday. You'll be here Thursday. And if you need any tutoring, you have any questions about any assignment we've done so far, that'll be the time to ask those questions. Okay. Yes, Caitlin?
Which assignment is the one that we have to make our own copy?
The multiplying fractions worksheet.
When I go on the worksheet, it says that I could make a copy. It says open with Cameo.
Oh, yeah. So, okay. That should work then. But it didn't for you, Leia? Yes, you are free to go now, Liza. Thank you for asking.
When I open PDFs, it always just opens it with Cammy.
Oh, okay.
I have to make a copy.
Bye, Mrs. Hoy.
Bye.
Bye.
See you guys Thursday.
Bye. See you Thursday.
Bye, Leia. Bye, Daniel.
Have a good day.
You too. Thank you.
Bye, Mrs. Hoy.
Bye, Daniel. Oh, my goodness. How's it going, Rory? Pretty much the same as it is with you. Did you get more guitars? Oh, are they for like the after school kids or? Well, that's good. Oh. So will that mean you don't have to haul guitars with you to the just in case someone forgets? But it's easier to haul like 5 around than it is 25. Makes sense. Yeah, well, it's so much easier for you to not have to come back and drop mom, load them up every week. It was long and exhausting, but the Padres won, which makes me really happy. And in stellar fashion, like with a big comeback win. And my niece was at my house this weekend because she and my daughter went up to see My Chemical Romance on Saturday, which is nice. But I'm glad she's going home today. Friday, that's a long time to have someone at your house on your couch, like in the living room. I didn't even think that my son is away at school and he's got a lot. Like I could have had her go sleep up in that bed, but and my dog lost his mind with the thunderstorm. Like I think I gotta find a way to like drug him or something. I tried giving him a trazodone. Like he was trying to kill himself. My dog was literally trying to kill himself. And so I tried to kennel him and he bit me while I was trying to kennel him. Because he's out of his mind from it. Like he goes in full scale panic. He tries to like jump off the loft or huh? It's gotten worse. He's 8. But I think he had a traumatic brain injury because he died and I had to bring him back once. And it's been worse ever since. I tried to kennel him. When I finally got him in the kennel after I got bit, he started trying to eat his way through the kennel and his mouth was bleeding. And yeah, like if I could just, anytime someone like on fireworks days or thunder days, if I could just knock his ass out. Yeah, exactly. There's got to be like a sedative. Because there's like sedatives yeah. When they go on planes. So, so maybe like. Yeah, I just need to knock him out. Yeah, let me know what happens. Yeah, I'm going to get him to the vet and it just makes me think. So I had this dog Otis who was bigger. I wound up having to get rid of him because he started attacking Atticus. He was trying to dominate. And my son had gotten bit in the process and can't have that. Well, he and Atticus were playing. Like it was total playing. And Atticus's collar got hooked on Otis's jaw. And then when he tried to get away, it wrapped around and Atticus was like dead. He wasn't, by the time I was able to get the collar cut off and he hit the ground, he wasn't breathing anymore. And I just started pumping his chest on the side. And like a minute or so later, he came back. And he'd always been a sketchy dog, but like now it's so much worse. And I wonder if he got some like brain injury from a lack of oxygen. So, and the rest of the time he's not bad. Like he's a good dog. I mean, he's a pain in the ass because he's barky, but he's not like vicious or. But fireworks, smoke alarms, thunder, and if I could just drug him during those days. I mean, we don't get that much thunder here, We have like 2 days of fireworks, and we have maybe like 3 days of thunder a year. Like if I could just knock his butt out on those days.
That would be good.
Yeah.
There's gotta be something.
So I'm gonna try and see if I can get him a vet appointment for Friday.
Okay, good. You're gonna try to wait.
Yeah. Because I want to have stuff on hand for the next time a situation arises,
Yeah.
so that. But it was so stressful because he was doing all that, and I had people coming over and people leaving, and the baseball game was on, and my friends' kids were carving pumpkins with my other kid, and my oldest, who's bipolar, is like freaking out over the whole commotion. I thought I was gonna have a heart attack, man. Like I was so freaking stressed out.
Jeez, how would I do?
Like, and I'm not normally the one who needs to be like mellowed
Yeah.
in the family. I'm the one doing the mellowing,
Yeah.
and I was just on edge.
Oh, man. Glad you're here.
Yeah, me too.
You made it.
Me too. I'm glad the dog survived.
Yeah.
Eventually, the trazodone, because I gave him an adult dosage of trazodone, and then my son took him into his room, and we had a thunder shirt on him, and eventually he settled down, and he was stoned enough that he could come out. The thunder stopped eventually. But
That's weird because actually, my experience was lightning, no thunder.
oh, really?
Yeah.
We had crazy thunder, like house shaking thunder.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It was not what I was dealing with. It was literally no thunder. It was weird.
And it felt like the lightning was in my backyard because every time it would strike, like I had all the blinds closed, but every so often the whole living room would like light up
Oh
from
my
the.
gosh. So that actually, if it wasn't for all that stuff, that actually sounds really cool.
Yeah, it was. I love thunderstorms myself,
Yeah, like cool.
but not now. Not with that stupid dog of mine. That I love. I love the dog, but he's stupid. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I do. I have no strength. I have so much work to do. I have no strength.
Well, take a little tip from me. I'm not planning anything for the second half of the week.
I kind of have to, but I can hear that.
Well, because I'm not giving anything to the Thursday kids I can't give to the Friday kids.
Forgot there's a 3 weekend.
So I'm just opening my meets up for tutoring on Thursday, and I'm not going to give them anything new.
Okay. Well, okay. Well, if it doesn't work out because it's just like just working your ass that day.
Yeah.
So that works. All three math class weekends.
And then you don't have to. That's one less thing you have to prep for the end of the week. I have so much grading to do. I'm so behind.
That's why I'm so tired. I spent all weekend doing that. Oh, wow. But I was really behind. Like I was.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, I am too.
Oh, okay.
None of my damn seventh graders are turning anything in anyway. So.
That's how my eighth graders are right now. They're doing so good until the fires.
I think Ricardo just gave them all A's first triad because he was leaving and didn't have time to get all the grading done.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
I don't either. Except for now, they're going to go from A's to F's, and everyone's going to be like, how'd you screw that up?
Yeah, that's true.
Because they're not turning anything in. Oh, I'm so glad to get up for a minute.
All right, well, have a good class.
Thanks, you too.
But I don't have a class.
You don't?
Not until after lunch.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes, but the rest of my schedule sucks. So, yes, it is nice.
I had first period prep, so
Oh,
I hate first period prep.
I love first period prep.
I'm already here so early that.
Other than make dentistry, but it's perfect for me.
I mean, it is nice. I did work through it and get everything prepped during prep. Hey, April, that form, do we have to fill it out at the beginning of the month?
Right, I took, that's what, and I already had a business on it, so if I come in and I know nobody's like, doing covered on, Monday or Thursday, then I'll go home at once and work from home. Yeah. But like, I'm here, so I'll make sure it's covered, you know what I mean, like. I don't know, there's a new, form for, no, but it's like, it's super elementary. They just said they're checking on the place. Well, then maybe we need a secondary form, maybe. No, but we need to, I don't want to be going too far. So I'm like going back to everything, like, you need that to 14 or 16 one, and then they can't close the form. No, that's, no. Because that's the thing, is I should be able to transition what we're doing. Because we got phones on there, because we're gonna separate, we are familiar. Maybe we got a person, you know what I mean? Yeah. Something with the OCD. Well, that person, yeah. So I'm like, maybe that's a conception, man. That's a new, okay. But yeah, no, so I can, I just like, I'll follow up.
All right, thanks. Yeah, I was putting in for like next week, and I'm like, do I have to do the whole month at once? I get that for elementary or people who are only working from home, but for those of us, then why, I would put every afternoon at home then, just in case on the off chance. Yeah.
says I heart MILF. I'm real sick of that kid, and that makes me sad because I don't get sick of people worried. I understand. I just feel like we've been burned. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm here.
Yeah, I was like, even bigger last year. I was almost done last year.
I think I am. Like, I'm never a cruel person, but I'm just not going on around my other family. I don't understand. I'll see you after lunch. I have to eat. Ow!
Because we're studying the metabolism in science right now, and diabetes. Yeah. No, you don't. I don't want to do this. It's stupid. You know what it is? It's because we have Monday off. I mean Friday off. And I'm just having a fit or something. I don't know. My brain, it hurts. And I was like a nap. Oh, come on.
Oh, look, nobody's here. Everybody's least favorite day. It's not a choice. I don't know.
How's everybody doing?
Cool. Stefania, you already did it.
Yo, feeling good? Hanging in there. I'm tired actually. I'm kind of cold. Yeah, right now, since you're asking. I'm tired and cold. That's how I'm doing. How's everybody's weekend?
Hello, Jacob.
You did? Well, I don't know if you did. Overwatch too, huh? Hopefully it's good. See, there's objectively worse than this stuff. It's arousing engagement. Grandma's happy birthday, happy early birthday to your grandma. You guys eat? Wow,
I see Josh looking
Well,
at
that's
me.
good. Yeah, that's cool. I'm not a pineapple fan, but sounds like that was. Cowboys are good.
So good afternoon.